Thermometers allow circumstances and situations to dictate how it's going to be. You are not a thermometer. I realize the temptation to be one, but you do not have to stay that way. So many times you wake up in the morning and the first thing you're aware of is what you don't have rather than what you do. And that preoccupation is what allows you to become a thermometer. A thermostat immediately grabs hold of the gratefulness that you have something that others don't. You have the privilege of getting up this morning and going to be a part of something that others wish they could be a part of a team, a part of a process that allows you to get better every day. I realize it's hard, but guys, what else is there? Existing, breathing. Let me tell you, there's a lot of other things you could be doing that are a lot more of a waste of time. Our priority here at National Football Academies is to help you understand your value to what you do. Being a thermostat is more than just a gimmicky idea, it's a mindset. A lot of you guys worry about what a lot of other people think about you. You spend a lot of other time thinking that whether people like you or not. It doesn't matter. You have to be of a mindset that your entire objective is to influence and serve others. Why? Because that's what true greatness is. Being great is not being better than other people. Being great is being willing to make other people great, to put them in a position to be successful. 68 and Breezy is a great way to remind ourselves that the thermostat of our hearts is something that must be maintained. If we lose that, then we lose all our credibility. We lose all of our focus. And we lose our moment to impact other people's lives. You are not too young to understand this. You may be lazy, you may be unmotivated, you may be selfish, but you are not too young. In a very short time, you're going to be tested in this on a football field. Shoot, you'll be tested on it when you get in the car this afternoon. You're going to be tired. Your brothers and sisters are here, they're going to test you. That's what they're there for, aren't they? Your brothers and sisters just are there to test you. I know. They exist to test your heart. You wake up every morning. You ought to try kids sometime. Later. Later. Go to college, get a job, marry a wonderful woman, then we'll talk about kids. But my point is that regardless of what the test is, when no one else is around, don't fail the test. There's a test coming right here in a few minutes. Maybe you're tired, maybe you're fatigued, maybe you didn't feel like you did well last night. It's a test. Passio is a test. When circumstances don't go the way you want, it's a test. Why do I have to be tested? Well, that's kind of the way this thing works. Life was never about getting everything we wanted. Life is about being willing to be something others won't be so that others get what they need. How do I do that, Coach? Well, I was thinking about that this morning. How do I help a group of young men survive the test? Kind of praying about it, kind of thinking about it, trying to wonder how I could say something that would help. And then I realized we've already said it 1,000 times over, and I'm just going to repeat it. And we've actually said it on the back of the shirts you guys wear. The whole concept is pretty straightforward. I sacrifice. That's the first concept of how you survive the test. I sacrifice. I'm willing to give it up, even if I'm not going to get what I want. It's not about me. That is the hardest single truth as a man or a woman you'll ever face in your life. This is easy compared to that. There is nothing in your life that will test you more than that moment when you must sacrifice. Your need to be right, your need to be loved, your need to get what you want, your need to get everything that you think you deserve. And you have to let it go. It's going to hurt. It's going to sting. Some people might never see how much it stings because they didn't know how much you wanted it. Welcome to Passio. But boys, here's the best part. If you understand why that has to happen, that you're in that moment to say something about who you are, then it won't be as bad. Why? Because you got a context for why you're going through it. I think the biggest problem with young men is they don't know how to handle suffering because they don't really understand that it's supposed to be part of the process. Why do I have to do this? Why doesn't somebody else have pain? Why does it always have to be me that has to go through this? Instead, it's just Passio. I get it. This is part of me growing to be the man I am. It's Passio. That has saved me so much heartache because I realize that people around me, at times, are agents of Passio. They are simply there to cause me suffering so I grow up. I'm good. I'm like, I get you. You're my agent of Passio. Thank you. So your brothers and sisters are little agents of Passio in your life. They're teaching you and testing you for the real love you have. Why? Because there's going to come a day. I mean, that day you hope doesn't come sooner, but when the pressure hits and real suffering strikes, you'll be ready. We're preparing for a defining moment when we sacrifice. Could be on a football field when the game's on the line. It could be in the midst of tragedy we didn't expect. I don't wish any of that upon you. But boys, it's inevitable. I don't want you not ready. I want your hearts prepared, much like you prepare for anything else in your life. You go on a trip, you pack. It's going to rain, you start battening down the hatches. Whatever it is, you're preparing. I ignite. I ignite. Success is not the result of spontaneous combustion. You must first set yourself on fire. I like that. That's thermostat talk right there. This isn't just going to happen. You are going to have to will it so. There's something inside of you that has nothing to do with how you feel. This is why the decision's so hard. Because you're going to have to look down inside yourself and see how much you're going to have to sacrifice. And quite frankly, it's going to suck. You're going to have to lose the video games. You're going to have to lose the girlfriends. You're going to have to lose a lot of fun things you could do. You have to say no to some things that you otherwise would want to do. I really like football, but when I was coming up through the ranks at the quarterback academy, I didn't get to watch it. Ever. Why? Because every Saturday, every Sunday, I was out watching you. I had to give it up. So I had to give up football to do this. Over and over and over again. Boys, if you lose heart, I want you to stop for a second and think about this. I want you to think about this. I spent 26 years doing what a lot of other people wouldn't be willing to do. And you're sitting in a group of people right now, and I have a group of people around me that are better than me because we willed it so. Guys, you have the opportunity to make that kind of an impact. If you choose to be someone who can ignite the people around you. But it doesn't start unless you ignite yourself first. How do I do that, Coach? Starts with a thermostat, a mindset. You have to choose to love when it hurts. You have to choose to love those teammates that you don't like. You got to choose to love those coaches you think hate you. You got to choose to love your parents in ways you haven't. You got to love your brothers and sisters, the agents of Passio. You got to love the people in your school. So much so that you become the one who stops the bullying, not participates in it. You become the one who makes the difference when others won't. You ignite change because you are on fire. You're going somewhere they can't go. But on the way, we're going to light them up. They can't go where you're going. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're going places other people cannot go. You're going to go to college. You're going to make a difference in college. But on the way, we're going to light a few people up. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't ever let somebody who's around you that isn't going where you're going tell you you can't make it. You guys have friends that you know, God bless them, they're not going anywhere. You like them, it's fun to hang around, and they don't put a lot of pressure on you. But you know you're going places they can't go. They don't have your skill set. They don't have your motivation. They don't have your passion. It's okay to be their friend. I'm not telling you not to. But you must remember, they will not go where you're going. So you must not let them dictate to you what this is going to look like. You must ignite them. You must ignite them. Get them motivated. Make them better because you're in their lives. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. That's who you are. You're an ignition source. You know what? You won't even know people you've lit on fire just simply because you have a passion that others don't. You've always got to live like you're going somewhere. You've always got to live like you're going to be somewhere. You're always preparing. Because you are. You're going to leave home. You're going to go to a university. And you're going to make an impact. You may not be a football star. You may be a financial wizard. The world of science. I don't care. Light it up. That's who we are. You understand? Yes, this is our chance to see the guy who's going to be doing that. And all the while, I don't care if you're a biology major who goes on to be a scientist in a lab. You've always got a job here with NFA. You've always got a job with us. Come join us, lighting other young men up, preparing them for what we got to do. What's it going to take to ignite others? Well, I grind. I grind. How hard are you willing to work when no one is watching? This is the hardest part. I love television. I love movies. I really enjoy movies, man. If I wasn't doing football, that's what I'd do. I'd make movies. I'm amazed by all the behind-the-scenes stuff and all the things I got to do to make all those scenes work. I like to watch movies. But if I was making movies, I wouldn't have made videos that would help you. I don't know if you know how long it takes to make a video, but it takes a while. I remember hundreds of all-nighters, not dozens, hundreds of all-nighters around my other jobs trying to finish DVDs I didn't know if anybody would like. Trying to write a book that I couldn't finish. Cracking the Code took me probably 9 years to write because I had to do it around my other jobs. Everybody likes video games. Everybody likes movies. Everybody likes to read books. But when you're going to want to try to change something, when you're going to try to make an impact on something, you're going to have to do what no one else likes to do. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You can't look at your friends and go, hey, man, just come, let's spend an hour doing this. You're like, dude, I got to go to bed. I got to get up early because I got to do this. You're going to have to grind when no one else is watching. In order to be able to be the guy that shows us something here, you've got to be willing to do the work there when no one sees it. That's the hard part. You got to get yourself out of bed a little earlier. You got to go to bed a little later. You're going to have to stop watching your phone at 10 o'clock at night and start reading your playbook and start studying your reads and recognition and start doing the things that prepared players do. Peyton Manning didn't get where he is just because he felt like loving football all the time. He enjoys preparing, but let me tell you, the level he goes to is scary, isn't it? I mean, scary. Could you do that? You're going to have to. Some of you aren't as talented, so you're going to have to work that much harder. Does that mean you shouldn't? Nope. Welcome to Passio. Here's the thing. When you look in the mirror and you make that decision to grind, there's only one distance that matters to you every day. What is it? One distance, 10 yards, that's right. I'm going 10 yards today. I'm going to get a first down. That's your job on a football field. That's your job in your life. You're going to grind. And 10 yards is hard to get when your heart's telling you you want to keep hitting the reset button on your Xbox or your PlayStation or watch another movie. You're going to have to negotiate with yourself to get that done. Let me tell you, okay, if I write for 4 hours, I can watch a movie. I can read that book if I will study for 2 hours. You're going to have to make deals. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to do things that others won't do so that others down the road can get what they need from you. Why? Why do I do this? Very simple. Because I want to inspire. I inspire. Be the change you wish to see. You know, there's a lot of things you see in your life that are wrong. A lot of things you see in others that aren't right. It takes no fault to find the fault, no skill to find the fault in others. This is my problem with a lot of coaching today. It's easy to find fault with kids. What's a challenge is to find the solutions that are going to give them a competitive advantage. That's on me to challenge my coaches to not just tell kids what's wrong with them, but give them solutions that are going to win. Every one of you is an inspiration simply by being here today. Why? Because you're getting better. You're trying. We're inspired by your effort as coaches. We're inspired by your willingness to keep going. But if you want to see things change, if you want to see situations made possible, if you want to make sure that you're one of those that gets tapped in a visit to our university to go back to the recruiting trip, when everybody else is watching the video, you get to go in the back. See, that happened to one of our young men. He showed up here when he was in 7th grade, and he wasn't very good. 8th grade, he wasn't very good. 9th grade, Sophomore year, yeah, he grew up. Goes to a major university's event, and man, he got the tap on the shoulder. Come on. And they showed him the recruiting board, and there was his name. We're watching you, son. You've got an opportunity. Man, that phone call was a great moment. Why? Because all the hard work, all the time he put in, hearing from me about all he had to do that he wasn't doing right, and all the solutions he had to implement, paid off. But guys, I can't guarantee you that's going to turn into a scholarship for him. There's still more work to do, isn't there? So here's all I can hope you'll do. I don't want you to spend your life trying to get to a destination. The goal is not a scholarship. We'd like to have it, but either way, we're going to college, right? Yes, why? Because the destination is not the scholarship. That's a means to the destination. The destination is not college. What's the destination? Inspire. We're going to inspire a generation to change. Why? Because you are going to be the one who sacrifices. You are going to be the one who ignites. You are going to be the one who grinds. And as a result of those three things, you're going to inspire the change you want to see. And again, in case you struggle with how that's going to happen, look at what I'm doing. I'm sacrificing. I'm igniting. I'm grinding. And hopefully, we're inspiring. Do you understand? Yes, sir. That's what my entire staff exists to do. To sacrifice, to ignite, to grind. Ultimately, to inspire. Why? So you'll do it. You'll become the change you want to see. I promise you, they won't come at first. They're going to laugh first. Hey, you're going to do that? Yeah, right, whatever, dude. 6 a.m. workouts, yeah, whatever. You get one guy to show up, great. Those two guys tell two others, and pretty soon, you got a breakfast club. Guys, you've got to be the courage that others don't have. You've got to be the courage that others don't have. Well, what if I don't have it, Coach? Then we've got a problem. You've got to figure out what you're going to sacrifice, what you're going to ignite, and where you're going to grind. Why? Because if we have any hope to be the men we say we be, how many of you said you wanted to play college football? See, the problem there is you just said you wanted to be one of the 1%. How many want to play college football again? Yeah. That means you're in the 99th percentile of all the athletes who play this position. Because there's less than 1% that'll actually do it. I believe you. I believe you when you say that. But unfortunately, the only way it's going to happen is if you're willing to sacrifice, ignite, grind, and inspire. That's the people they give opportunities to. That's the people who get the privilege of Passio. See, guys, Passio is not just about pain. Last thought, and we're going to go to work. Passio is not just about going through hardship. There's another side to Passio sometimes we miss. And for those that don't know what it is, or for those that aren't sure, let me explain what Passio is. Passio is the Latin root word of the word passion. It doesn't mean something I really want a lot. If you look at the Latin root of the word, it's confusing because those words shouldn't go together, because passion is believed to be something I desire a lot. And then there's this Latin root that says passio, it says to suffer. How can those two things be the same? That's where we miss the second part. That's the religious connotation that many people miss because they don't want to look at that. The sufferings of Christ is where the first word, passion, came about. It was the marriage of love and suffering for a purpose. In other words, we are willing to suffer because we love those we suffer for. That's the purpose of passion. Not what we're doing, but who we're doing it for. So passio represents not just a suffering for what we do, but a suffering for who we do it for. That gets us out of bed in the morning. That keeps us being willing to sacrifice, to ignite, to grind, and inspire. If you have any chance of understanding passio, you must understand that there is a payoff. What's that, Coach? It's you. You are the reward of passio for my staff. You, right now, sitting here, are the reward for all my coaches of what passio really means. Young men that are buying into an idea bigger than themselves. The privilege of seeing you become the players you said you would be. The privilege of seeing you to take the risk of being the men you said you'd be. This is the payoff of passio. That is the privilege of passio. It's what your parents are longing for, is to see you stand on your own one day and take ownership of your dream and achieve it. You are passio's payoff for us. Everybody is surrounding you, is all we're doing, everything we're suffering is for you. So you're the walking payoff. Now, does that mean I got to perform and do it? No. No, you misunderstand. Passio is not about performance. If you never did another thing, we'd still love you. If you never tried today, we'd still love you. If you wanted to go get in the car right now and go do something else, we'd still love you. Because passio isn't about performance. Passio is about loving those we're willing to sacrifice for. Loving those we're willing to ignite ourselves on fire for. Loving those we're willing to grind for. And loving those we're willing to inspire. In order to be a man like that, in order to go to that level, you got to be a 1%er. That's why I need guys that when they're asked to want to play college football, they'll raise their hand. Not even knowing if it's going to happen. Doesn't matter. I'm a 1%er. How many of you want to be great? There go the hands. Boom! That's the people that I want. So today as we go to work, sometime you get a break, water break or otherwise, I want you to take one of those 4 concepts. I sacrifice. I ignite. I inspire. I grind and I inspire. Say that with me. I sacrifice. Sacrifice. I ignite. I ignite. I grind. I grind. And I inspire. I inspire. And I want you to think about what that means in your life. How do I do those things? And I don't want you to do all of them at one time. I want you to think today, tonight, when you leave, go back. This is your homework from here through the fall into the next year. I want you to find one area where you're going to sacrifice big. One area where you're going to ignite big. One area where you're going to grind big. Something you haven't been willing to do. And one area where you're going to be a big inspiration to others. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
Then you're men of Passio. Coach Maddox,